Well, it's a problem that's forcing some people from their homes. An Indiana law designed to protect farmers is making things worse.
IT Mate's Karen Hensel found out the problem involves big farms, manure, and potentially dangerous chemicals.
Good evening. Tonight, IT Mate shows you the battle brewing on Indiana farms, literally making some farmers sick. And for the first time, we're breaking the Court of Appeals ruling that is causing a big stink at the State House.
Nice pork chop.
Alan Hutchinson and his wife Judy have lived in the small town of Winchester, Indiana for 22 years. Flags line Main Street, and cornfields stretch for miles. The Hutchinsons say life was good until 8 years ago when their new neighbor moved in.
When I come home, we'd knock you out of the car.
Alan says he and his wife were greeted by a powerful smell coming from their new neighbor's property. That neighbor, a concentrated animal feeding operation, or CAFO. Their farms where animals, cows, pigs, and other animals are kept and raised in confined areas. Hutchison and other small farmers say they are literally being pushed out of their homes when large farms that confine animals move in next door. The problem? The CAFO near the Hutchisons brought with it a large lagoon of liquid manure, millions of gallons right next door.
After a while, it kills your scent. You don't smell it anymore.
But you can still feel it burning.
You can feel it, but you don't smell it.
Yeah.
The Hutchisons say besides the smell, the farm also created health problems for them. The pits are full of ammonia, methane gas, and hydrogen sulfide that can be harmful or toxic. But the Hutchinsons say that wasn't the only problem.
From our backyard, that's the bubble.
What they call the bubble trouble, as big as a house, full of gas. They wore gas masks to test the air, asked the county commissioners for help, and were told,
Move.
Move.
And you eventually did.
Yep.
Yeah. After, what, 7 years, 7.5 years?
Couldn't take it any longer.
The Hutchinsons say the problem is Indiana's right to farm bill. The original intent of the bill was to prevent people from moving from the city, having a problem with the smell from their neighbor's farm, and then suing their neighbors. But IT Mate discovered that law is being used to prevent people who have legitimate health concerns from suing the huge farms next to them. The Hutchinsons say to make matters worse, they were there first.
If we had moved there and he was already there, we wouldn't have had a leg to stand on. But we had lived there for 13 years before he ever thought about coming in.
The Hutchinsons are not the only ones facing this problem. The Stickdorn family of Wayne County, Indiana, was also forced to move from their home. The family ended up suing in a case that made its way to the Indiana Court of Appeals.
Clearly the Stickdorns were there first, you know, they're farmers too, so right to farm shouldn't have applied to their case.
The court agreed. The court ruled the rights of small farmers like the Hutchisons and Stickdorns are protected under the same act. But Kim Ferraro, an attorney with the Hoosier Environmental Council, says the fight isn't over yet.
Removing the Right to Farm Act as a blockade to them protecting their rights in court is a huge deal. But the General Assembly last year has been trying to kind of rewrite that.
One way Ferraro says the legislature's been trying to change the law is in the form of a constitutional amendment. The proposed amendment is the right to hunt and fish. But then there's the part about engaging in agricultural and commercial production. Ferraro and farmers around the state say that could be a problem. They want to know if Indiana's constitution is being changed to protect an industry. Josh Trenery, executive director of Indiana Pig Producers, says no.
It's not to protect large farms, it's not to protect CAFOs, it's not to protect livestock farmers, it's just to protect agricultural pursuits in Indiana.
Trenery says the amendment takes a long-term look at agriculture and is a way to make sure corporate farmers can always operate in Indiana. The bill is up for a vote November 4th of 2014. Until that happens, people like the Hutchinsons are left to wait and hope that they can one day go back home.
We're not the only ones. There's a lot of people around here
They feel the same way. I mean, dang.
We tried to speak to the farmer who moved from the Netherlands next to the Hutchinsons. Now, we were not allowed on property, but he did come to the end of the long driveway telling me to talk to his attorney. His attorney says, though, with pending litigation, they cannot comment at this point. We asked to speak to Senator Brent Steele, who sponsored the amendment, but did not hear back. Karen Hensel, 24 Hour News 8.
But Karen will keep watching that.